Now we are going to discuss second chapter of quantum mechanics, chapter 2. Schrödinger wave equation. Schrödinger wave equation. The first article which I am going to discuss is the interpretation of wave function. But before that, let me tell you that the name Schrödinger has been written in this way. There are two double dots on O. If you want to replace these two double dots, if you want to replace these two double dots on O, then write E after O. Schrödinger. Schrödinger. You can write the name either by writing two double dots on O or replace these two double dots O by writing E after O, Schrödinger. So these are the two ways by which this particular name can be written. The first article in Schrödinger wave equation, which is the basic equation of non-relativistic quantum mechanics, we are going to discuss first the physical interpretation of wave function psi, Physical interpretation of wave function psi, or precisely physical interpretation of mod psi square. So we know that from de Broglie's hypothesis that a wave group or wave packet is associated with moving material particle. Wherever particle goes, that particular wave group or wave packet always encapsulates that particular particle, and such a wave group or wave packet, or what is called as a matter wave, has been confirmed experimentally by Davison-Germer experiment. Let me tell you that a mathematical function which describes this wave group, a mathematical function which is generally complex in nature, which describes this wave group or wave packet, is known as wave function and is denoted by psi, and is function of r and t, is function of position coordinate r and t. It is function of space coordinate. In other words, it is function of space coordinate x, y, z, where x, y, z stands for this r and time, okay. So it's a complex mathematical function describing a wave group or wave packet associated with moving material particle and is denoted by psi, and is function of space coordinate x, y, z and time t. Many times this wave function is also called as a state function. Many times this wave function is also called as state function. The reason is it contains all the information about the physical state of a quantum mechanical system. It contains all the information about physical state of a quantum mechanical system. So if psi is to be associated, if wave function is to be associated with moving material particle, then the wave function must be 0 where particle is not there, or where probability of finding particle there is very small or 0, and if particle is there, then the wave function must have an appreciable amplitude there. The probability of finding particle will be maximum where particle is there, and it will have appreciable amplitude there, and where there is no likelihood of finding the particle, the wave function must be 0. So this situation can be depicted by a picture. I am showing here a wave function and its associated material particle. So this is how this will look like, this wave function, and particle is somewhere here. So the location where particle is there, the wave function has appreciable amplitude, and it becomes 0 where particle is not there. So the wave function is 0 where particle is not there, and if there is some likelihood of finding the particle, it must have appreciable amplitude there. So this consideration tells us that the wave function psi or state function psi must be related to probability of finding the particle. But psi itself cannot be directly related to probability. There are two reasons why psi cannot be directly related or interpreted as a probability. There are two reasons. The first reason is the wave function psi which we obtain, which describes our wave group, is obtained by superposition of many monochromatic waves, and algebraic addition of these monochromatic waves at a particular space point, at a given space point, at a given instant of time t may be negative, but probability is never negative. So the first reason is the wave function that you obtain by superposition of monochromatic waves may have negative amplitude, or the amplitude of which may be negative, but the probability can never be negative. And the second reason is psi in general, which describes wave function of a particle at a given space point xyz at given instant of time t, is a complex quantity. Wave function in general is a complex quantity, but probability is always real and positive. So these are the two reasons why you cannot directly interpret psi as a measure of probability, and therefore Max Born, scientist Max Born in 1926 had suggested a real and positive quantity. How this real and positive quantity is constructed? It is denoted by mod psi square instead of mod psi, and is defined as psi star psi. So as it is product of a complex mathematical function with its conjugate, it's a real and positive quantity. This is called as probability density. Or probability amplitude, and is always real and positive quantity, and is taken as measure of finding the particle at a given point, at a given space point, at a given instant of time t. Okay, then let me tell you that the probability of finding the particle in a small volume element dV is given by mod psi square dV. Just like this probability density is also called as a probability amplitude, wave function psi is also called as a state function or wave amplitude. So these are the synonyms for wave function, either wave function or state function or wave amplitude, either probability density or probability amplitude. So what is mod psi square dV? if mod psi square is probability density, if it is multiplied by a suitable small volume element of space, then I get probability of finding that particle in a small volume, the probability of finding that particular particle at a given point in a small volume of space at a given instant of time t. This small volume element must be expressed in suitable coordinate system. For example, if I am asking you what is dv in Cartesian coordinate system, it is dx, dy, dz. Okay, you have to choose suitable volume element depending upon the nature of the problem which you are handling. In a Cartesian coordinate system, small volume element is given by dx, dy, dz. If you are handling a problem in a spherical polar coordinate system, then dv is given by r square sine theta dr d theta d phi, dr d theta d phi. This is volume element in a spherical polar coordinate system and so on. So what this tells me is that mod psi square being measure of probability of finding the particle, larger the value of mod psi square, greater is the chance of finding particle there at that point of space at a given instant of time t, and vice versa. And smaller the value of mod psi square, smaller will be the probability, or less will be the probability of getting particle there at that point of a space at given instant of time t. So this is a kind of statistical interpretation which was given by Max Born in a conference which was held in Copenhagen, and therefore this statistical interpretation of mod psi square is many times called as Copenhagen interpretation. Let me tell you that if I have mod psi square dv, what is mod psi square dv? Probability of finding particle in small, this is probability density, this is probability density or probability amplitude. If I am multiplying it by small volume element dv, then it becomes probability of finding particle in small volume element dv. Probability of finding a particle in small volume element dv. So if you are considering a particle, for a particle under consideration, the total probability must be unity. This is probability of finding particle in small volume element. Total probability, I mean probability of, if you are given a particle, if it exists there somewhere in a space, then total probability or probability of finding that particle over the entire space must be 1, must be maximum. So this integration gives me mod psi square dv. This is called as total probability. Mod psi square dv is a probability of finding particle in a small volume element dv. If I am integrating it, I am getting total probability. Total, I mean probability of finding particle over entire space, that must have maximum value 1. 1 is the maximum value of normalized probability. Remember, this integral is to be evaluated over entire space. So actually this is triple integral and is understood from variable of integration. So since variable of integration being a volume element which is 3-dimensional entity, this is triple integral actually, and the limits of space, 3-dimensional space, are from -infinity to +infinity. In 2 dimension, this expression will become, say, S or mod psi square dA, where dA is area element, this is equal to 1, -infinity to infinity. In this case, from variable of integration, namely area element, you will understand that this is double integral or surface integral. If you are considering motion of a particle just only along a single axis such as x, then minus infinity to plus infinity mod psi square dx equal to 1. From variable of integration, you will understand that these are the limits of one-dimensional space, these are the limits of two-dimensional space, these are the limits of three-dimensional space. So depending upon whether your problem is one-dimensional, two-dimensional or three-dimensional, you have to choose this particular condition accordingly. This is the constraint or condition which is imposed on psi, which psi has to satisfy. This condition on psi for a given particle, namely minus infinity to plus infinity mod psi square, generally we consider three-dimensional case, particle being three-dimensional entity, this is called as normalization condition. This condition which psi has to satisfy, where the limits of integration are the limits of the entire space, this condition is called as normalization condition. This condition is called as normalization condition, which psi has to satisfy if it has to represent the physical entity like a moving material particle. What is 1? Its maximum value of normalized probability, which is there on right hand side. You are integrating a probability in small volume element over the entire space, and then you are getting 1. So what is normalization condition? If you are considering a particle, if particle is there, if particle exists somewhere there in a space, this condition tells me that probability of finding that particle somewhere in a space is a maximum and has a value 1. So this condition gives us assurance for existence. So normalization is nothing but guarantee of existence of a particle, or it is assurance for existence of a particle. So next time we will discuss Schrodinger wave equation. We will not derive, we will obtain Schrodinger time dependent wave equation, and then we will go to time independent form and so on. So that we will discuss in the next lecture. Let us stop here.